What's up, guys? KAMIKAZE-FOX coming to you from IRL Season 5 F1 2018 on the PS4 platform, and we are here at the last and final round of Season 5, Round 21 at the Autódromo de Interlagos in Sao Paulo, Brazil, to round out this very exciting Season 5. And Brazil has been nothing short of dramatic in years past, in real F1 and especially in IRL. Doing a little bit of track history, previous pole sitters here have been Cameron Weston-Edwards in Season 1 and Season 2, Peter Van Hag in Season 3, and Brandon Glover took the pole position last year. Winners, though, have been Season 1, Season 2, was John Hooft as he went back-to-back for Season 1, Season 2. Peter Van Hag won from pole in Season 3, and Glover won here last year in Season 4. So your pole-to-win ratio is 50%, but Season 3 was really the in recent memory, was the biggest one. It was full of drama. 13 cars started the race, but only 4 of them had finished. Ethan Croft, Cushin Brown, James Saunders, and Esteban Retamoso all crashed on lap 1, followed by Nick Green on lap 3, and Niha Mihizuki, the last Japanese driver to compete in IRL, crashed out on lap 5. And then Gavin Davies retired on lap 16. That left just 6 drivers remaining in the race. Peter Van Hag led Jimmy McCardell by 7 seconds, who was actually battling it out with Gavin Parker and Cameron Weston-Edwards for second. Ted McCardell was in P5 while Kiki Malikish was in 6th. But on lap 24, Parker made an ambitious move on McCardell, and they spun at the curb in turn 3, and he overcorrected and slammed into the outside wall. 7 laps later, McCardell also crashed, and that would be Ted McCardell. And that left Peter Van Hag to take his only career win from Cameron Weston-Edwards and Jimmy McCardell. The only other finisher was Kiki Malikish, who finished a lap down in P4 and retired from IRL just a couple days later. None of the drivers who competed in that race are actually racing today, so that's your Season 3 history. We're going to do a driver run now. We've got, looks like 11 drivers today to round out this final round of the season. And we are coming off a very exciting Suzuka round last time out, round 20, where Brandon Glover took home his first win of the year. That was his first win since Season 3. So that was 492 days that Brandon Glover had gone without a win, but he picks it up. Jack Hoyle picked up his 8th pole position last time out. Tyler Rhodes finished 2nd for his 2nd podium of the year, and Jack Hoyle came home 3rd after a recovery race. Jack Hoyle was well out in front, made a mistake, and it cost him dearly throughout the course of the race. So we've got Aaron Collingwood chiming in on the live chat along with Lewis Marshall. Bright and sunny here in Brazil. We've got Brandon Glover, Jay Fletcher, Dave Meegham, Lee Kelly, Felix Negwer, Tyler Rhodes, Sondre Sorhaug, Ken Bilhoon, Jay Drawbridge, Samuel Nazar, and Alexander Bastos all on the grid today, along with TTV_LAI-A fan, and I don't know who that is. Possibly a random. He is in one of the Ferraris. So 12 drivers, as it would be right now, possibly one of them random, so we'll see how that plays out into the effect during this 18-minute qualifying session before we jump into a 50% race. And then back to last week's round, Hoyle picked up his 14th podium of the year. Negwer came home 4th. Aaron Collingwood came out of retirement 5th. Alexander Bastos finishes 6th for a change. Dave Meegham was 7th. Jorge Correa, 3 races in a row. Correa has finished a race in the points. Coming home 8th. Thomas Scott was 9th, and Adrian Storm was 10th. 11th through 17th last week all had DNS. That was James Hallworth, Sabasiktu, Paco Suarez, Canville Hoon, Louis Quinlan, newcomer Oysen, and then Sondre Sorhaug rounding out the 17 positions. And we're going to pick up last week's winner on his outlap, Brandon Glover, who's put together a pretty decent season, definitely better than I think he had expected going into the season. Like I said, that was his first win since Season 3 here at this track, 492 days. Tyler Rhodes came home 2nd that last round out. That was his 2nd podium in the last 4 rounds. And there is a little bit of a battle here. The championship has been settled. Jack Hoyle won the championship, closed that up way back in Monaco. But there is a little bit of a battle going on for second place in the championship between Felix Negwer and Jay Drawbridge. So that's still up for grabs between those two. And I just wanted to note, Alexander Bastos finished his 6th, his last time out. He hasn't finished any better than 6th this year, so it was a good run for him. But he does lead the league with 5 7th-place finishes. So Alexander Bastos should be looking to finish a little bit better than that today. And looks like Adrian Storm has joined, so he may not be able to participate in qualifying, but he should be able to participate in the race as we watch Brandon Glover on his first out lap. This is actually his first hot lap, I should say. Good old Interlagos, a proper F1 track, one of the crowd favorites from all over the world. So many amazing races here over the years. Sebastian Vettel won here with gearbox problems that was very reminiscent of Ayrton Senna's win back here when Ayrton Senna had gearbox problems and couldn't change gears. And then there was the massive crash in, I believe, 06 with Fernando Alonso and Mark Webber. And, of course, there was the dramatic finish to the season when Felipe Massa lost out on his championship by 1 point to Lewis Hamilton. No thanks to Timo Glock, who decided to stay out on wets on a dry track. So, always full of drama here. Jay Fletcher sets the first fastest lap, 107.563. That's over Dave Meegham. Glover was only managed to get 4th quickest, but the top 4 drivers all running in the 107s. Fletcher, 107.563. Meegham is 107.580. And Tyler Rhodes, 107.596. Very close to the top 4, and Brandon Glover was a 107.649. Looks like we've lost the TTV Alia fan for qualifying. Not sure if he retired from the session. Maybe he realized he was not supposed to be here. Looks like Felix Negwer is going 108.3, and he is getting out of the way. Looks like a Lee Kelly there with Toro Rosso. And Jay Drawbridge putting his stamp on the qualifying session, 106.896. And Jay Drawbridge has been very fast this whole year. Like I said, he's battling it out with Felix Negwer for 2nd in the championship point standings. But at one point in time, Jay Drawbridge did lead the league in pole positions. And that was actually, he's got 5 to his credit, but he hasn't had a pole position since round 12 in Sochi back earlier in the year. And Jack Hoyle went on a tear since then. And Jack Hoyle, who's not participating today, managed to go and get 8 pole positions to his credit. So a lot of guys in the pits. Pick up Cam Vilhoun. He's in the Williams. See if he's got anything for anybody. Nope, he's going to dive into the pits. Wasn't happy with his setup. Looks like Lee Kelly's going 109.147 on the medium tires. Alexander Bastos currently 110.045. Good enough for 9th. And if TTV is done for the day, that would leave us with 11 drivers for today's race, which is actually a little light on the, it's a little bit on the light side as far as the grids have been this year, but it is the last race of the season, not necessarily fighting for championship in any way, shape, or form. The biggest thing up for grabs is racing for pride, whoever can get the win, and then the battle for 2nd in the championships between Jay Drawbridge and Felix Negwer. Jack Hoyle and Red Bull locked up those championships long ago. See Alexander Bastos, see if he can improve his time across the front stretch. And a 109.664, so he improves his time, but not his position. Caution in sector 1 and 2. Looks like that was Bastos trying to get around one of the Toro Rossos. That would have been Lee Kelly coming out of the pits. Lee Kelly trying to get out of the way. And we've got Jay Drawbridge coming out. And we are getting official word now that TTV is officially left the session. So Jay Drawbridge is the only driver in the bracket of the 106. He's got a 106.896, 7/10 quicker than Jay Fletcher. Fletcher has proven to have some speed here throughout the course of the year. He joined the league not that long ago. He just had a podium to his credit. He got second place back in round 17 at Australia. He's going to dive into the pits again. TTV has joined back up. So still trying to get confirmation on who this guy is. There's some radio chatter going on behind the scenes. But he is one of the drivers for IRL, but we're not 100% sure as to who yet. We watched Dave Meegham runs a little wide there coming out. That might have invalidated his lap time. Looks like he's still on the gas. And Jared Fosbury's working behind the scenes. He's one of the administrators for IRL. I'm trying to figure out who this TTV is and how he got here. So you watch Dave Meegham backside of the car sliding out. You'll have to forgive me. I'm stuttering a little bit today. I've got a sore throat. I'm not feeling 100%. And it looks like TTV has left the session again. So Mystery Man continues to have some internet issues, and Meegham is going to call it a lap and head into the pits. Brandon Glover's going 107.502, so he's picked up the pace a little bit, manages to get second away from Jay Fletcher. Looks like he's off the pace here. And Tyler Rhodes just went 107.470, so Tyler Rhodes takes back second spot. Good for him. Tyler Rhodes, again, 2 podiums in the last 4 rounds. He had a podium back here last round out at Suzuka, where he finished second on the day. And then he had a podium back in Australia, where he finished third. That was a mighty race in round 17 in Australia. He started with 20-car grid, only finished with 8 cars. So that was a very interesting race. And this whole season's been very interesting, really, from the start of it to Jack Hoyle taking the championship in Monaco, to Jay Drawbridge fighting it out with Jack Hoyle for the championship, and now still having to fight it out to pick up second spot in the championship point standings. It looks like Tyler Rhodes is going to head into the pits. We'll pick up Jay Fletcher again. See if he's got an answer for Jay Drawbridge's 106.896. Fletcher currently 4th quickest on the day. And you can see just how close these times are. 2nd through 7th is all in the 107, separated by less than half a second. So we could have a very interesting mid-pack battle, even though there's not a lot of cars here racing today. It looks like we're going to have 11 cars for the grid, but 2nd through 7th right now, covered by half a second. That could make for some very interesting racing. And with it being the last race of the season, and obviously with F1 2019 coming out in the coming months, we'll be looking forward to the new season next year. A lot of guys are going to be racing for pride. Definitely want to try and put a stamp on this F1 2018 last race for these regulations. Obviously, F1 2019 is going to have the new F2 League, which is surely going to be interesting, since it'll have actual F2 cars. IRL started an F2 League this year, which Jared Fosbury and Paco Suarez had locked up that championship for Renault many, many races ago, and they ran their final round yesterday. Jared Fosbury, F2 champion, but very interesting to see that IRL launched an F2 League as Jay Fletcher goes 107.270, good enough to take second back away from Tyler Rhodes. So, but IRL launches an F2 season this year because they had so many drivers signing up and some of them slower than others, so they tried to keep the competition as tight as possible. They pick up Brandon Glover as he comes across the line, 107.503, so he improves his time, but not his position. But it'll be cool to see next year an F2 league for IRL in actual F2 cars. And I think that'll be very fun to watch. A lot of guys like the F2 cars. I do think the competition in reality is a little bit closer in F2 since they use spec chassis and spec engines. So it does make for a little bit closer racing. It looks like we have some other drivers joining in. I'm not 100% who these drivers are. I'm not sure if these are randoms or if these are people that have been invited. Recently, PlayStation had announced that you can change your gamer tag, and a lot of guys had elected to do that. So some of these guys may be actual IRL drivers, but with new gamer tags that I am not familiar with yet. And it looks like Jared Fosbury has told us on the live chat that there's a possibility of the lobby getting restarted at the end of qualifying due to the random. So it looks like we are getting some random drivers in here. We do have non-league James Boyle chiming in on the live chat, so always good to pick up another fan. Not 100% sure who that is, but the more the merrier. Always welcome to watch. See Brandon Glover go fourth quickest again off the pace. Going to pick up Lee Kelly. He's another driver that's in the 107s. 107.653. Can he improve his position? He improves his time, and it puts him up to fifth with a 107.544. So currently the only drivers that are not in the 107 range is your provisional pole sitter, Jay Drawbridge, who's cracked into the 106s, and then unfortunately Alexander Bastos, who's gone to 108.713 as he comes across the line. That's his best lap of qualifying so far. So second through eighth now is all in the 107s. You can see how close that time is. 107.2, 107.4, 107.5, 107.5, 107.8, 107.9. The only two drivers that have yet to set a time is going to be Sondre Sorhaug and Kim Gilhoon. And they have yet to set a time. As you see, it looks like Jay Fletcher is in the pits. With Felix Negwer out on the track, we haven't watched him yet set a time. He has gone 107.898. We talked about it. He is battling for second place in the championship with Jay Drawbridge. That is still up for grabs. Looks like he's off the pace, so he's not going to be setting a time this time out. And he's actually the only one left on track. Ken Vilhoon is finally out on track doing an outlap as the back end slides out on his Williams. So this will be good for Ken Vilhoon, because he's going to be the only car on track, as everybody else is in the pits. Negwer. Actually, it looks like Negwer is starting in hot lap. See if he can improve his time. 107.898 so far. Ken Vilhoon starting his hot lap well behind Felix Negwer. So traffic's not going to be an issue for these two drivers at all. And Negwer is up on his time after the first sector by half a tenth. That's not going to be enough to improve his time. Oh no, and Alexander Bastos is retired from the session. 108.713 is going to be his time locked in. We saw him just starting a hot lap, and we're not sure what happened to him. I'm going to assume he may have had an off at turn 3 at the end of the straightaway. So Negwer does not improve his time, and he is going to retire from the session with a minute remaining. Ken Vilhoen goes third quickest, 107.409, so good for Ken Vilhoen. Bastos retires with a 108.713. Jay Fletcher, 107.270. There's some controversy surrounding him right now. I was under the impression that Jay Fletcher had left the league, but he is currently racing second quickest right now. 107.270 was his best time, and he is going to make a last-ditch effort here to try and see if he can snatch the provisional pole position away from Jay Drawbridge. And I am getting some official word that we are going to restart this lobby as Jay Fletcher retires from the session. We are going to restart this lobby due to the influx of randoms. So Jay Drawbridge could actually call this a day. And Tyler Rhodes is retired from the session. So Jay Drawbridge is going to come across the line, but he's got the pole position locked up. I don't think anybody's out on track that's going to be able to take it. 106.730. We're going to pick up Brandon Glover, who's gone 107.502, so he's 0.8 off. We've still got Glover and Lee Kelly and Dave Meagum. So here comes Meagum across the line. And he is locked in, 107. Here comes Lee Kelly. Can he improve his position? 107.350 for Lee Kelly. That makes him fourth. And Brandon Glover, with a bit of snap oversteer, and he's in the grass. And it looks like Brandon Glover is going to have to call it a day. Pick up Samuel Nazar. He's going to come across the line. Does not improve his position at all either. So provisional pole. And actually, it is not provisional. Official pole position for Jay Drawbridge. And as I said earlier, that is his last pole position was round 12 at Sochi. So he picks up his sixth and final pole position of the season here at round 21. So provisional starting order: Jay Drawbridge, Jay Fletcher, Tyler Rhodes, Lee Kelly, Ken Vilhoen, Brandon Glover, Dave Meagum, Felix Negwer, Samuel Nazar, Alexander Bastos, and Sondre Sorhaug. And just to be clear, we are all leaving the session. We're going to refire the session due to the influx of randoms that had joined. Not 100% sure if the lobby was maybe left as an open lobby and not an invite only. Not sure if somebody's trying to play games with IRL today in their last round. And invite drivers that shouldn't be there. But while we wait for them to get situated, a recap of this season started off back in round 1 in Canada with very controversial TJ McLean, who proved to be very fast that day. McLean had won the pole and was on his way to getting a podium finish when he crashed out with on the last lap up against the front stretch, breaking the left front suspension. Felix Negwer went home with his first win of the year, and he was driver of the day. Round 2 at COTA, Lewis Marshall took home his first pole position in the wet, and Jay Drawbridge picks up his first win of the year in round 2 at COTA. Reese Bibby, who had started the season with us, had an amazing drive with Felix Negwer as they battled for a second spot. Negwer would eventually come home third. Heading into round 3 in Mexico, Jay Drawbridge picks up his first pole position of the year and then took a very commanding win in the wet. It was the second win in a row. Brandon Glover picked up his first podium in round 3, and Reese Bibby had his second podium in a row as he came home third. Adrian Storm made his F1 debut in round 3 in Mexico, where he finished fourth. Felix Negwer came home fifth that day. He actually had 18 seconds worth of penalties that race. And it looks like we're getting back into a lobby. So that was round 3 in Mexico. Round 4 at Spain, Aaron Collingwood took home his first win of the season. I'm sorry, took home his first pole position of the season. This is when Jack Hoyle joined in. Jack Hoyle, on his debut, won Catalunya. He took home his first win. Round 4 was his debut, and he had actually won Driver of the Day that day as well. Jay Drawbridge came home third, picking up his third straight podium finish, and Lewis Marshall had come home second. Round 5 was the French Grand Prix at Paul Ricard, where Luke Smith, who struggled mightily this year between IRL and SRL, picked up his first pole position of the year. Felix Negwer walked home with his second win of the season. Jack Hoyle came home second. Aaron Collingwood came home third. Round 5, we moved to Silverstone, where Jay Drawbridge had picked up his second pole position of the year. Luke Smith won that race. Gabriel Ryan picked up his first podium position, and Jack Hoyle had come home third. It was 3 straight podiums in a row for Jack Hoyle. And then in Hungary was a very interesting and very entertaining race. That was round 7. Brandon Glover took his first pole position in more than a year. Ville Himalayan picked up his first win. Jack Hoyle came home second. Aaron Collingwood was third that round. And then in round 8 was Austria. And this is where Jack Hoyle finally picked up his first pole position of the year. He also won from pole. It was his second win. Aaron Collingwood came home third. Felix Negwer was still on a tear with his 4th podium finish, coming home third. Alexander Bastos, I said earlier he didn't finish any better than 6th. I was wrong about that. He actually came home 4th in Austria. So Alexander Bastos has a best finish of 4th. Still leads the league in 7th place finishes with 5. And there was a bit of a mix-up between Gabriel Ryan and Luke Smith. Gabriel Ryan actually came home 5th that race, but due to penalties after an investigation after the race, actually came home 6th, lost 5th place to Luke Smith. Round 9 at Monza was all Jack Hoyle again, as he took home his 2nd pole position and his 3rd win. Jay Drawbridge came home 2nd. Brandon Glover picked up another podium position at round 9, coming home 3rd. And then round 8 was Abu Dhabi. Jay Drawbridge again, 3rd pole position of the year. Jack Hoyle picks up his 4th win. Ville Himalayan came home 2nd. Jay Drawbridge came home a 5th. And Alexander Pastos, it was round 10. Alexander Pastos actually picked up his first DNF of the season back at round 10. Lewis Curtis was racing that race. Lewis Curtis had 2 DNFs in a row. Round 11 was China, and that was Jay Drawbridge coming home with his 4th pole position of the year. Aaron Collingwood finally picks up his first win. Jack Hoyle comes home 2nd, and Gabriel Ryan picks up his second podium finish that year, coming home in 3rd. And I'm just going through the notes here, finding it hard to believe that was Aaron Collingwood's first win. And then round 12, Sochi, we've already talked about it a couple times, but Jay Drawbridge picked up his 5th pole position, and he hadn't had one since until today, which I believe they are trying to get the grid set for the upcoming race. But Jack Hoyle picked up his 5th win of the year. Aaron Collingwood picks up his 5th podium of the year. Gabriel Ryan, it was the 2nd race in a row where he came home 3rd. Darren Sinclair had an amazing race. That was his IRL debut. Actually, no, it wasn't his IRL debut. His IRL debut was the round before, but he comes home 4th. Round 13 at Singapore was all Darren Sinclair, as he came home with the pole position, and he won from pole. Jay Drawbridge came home 6th. Aaron Collingwood came home 3rd. Felix Negwer was 4th. That was Felix Negwer's best finish since round 10, coming home 4th. He lost a little bit of ground in the middle of the season. It looks like we're getting ready to go here. And we'll continue to talk about the rest of the season and how it unfolded as the race goes on. Round 14, Jack Hoyle had picked up his 3rd pole position. Jay Drawbridge took home his 3rd win, as Jack Hoyle came home with his 10th podium position of the year. And Aaron Collingwood picks up his 7th podium position when he came home 3rd. Luke Smith finished 4th that race. It was a good run for him. Round 15 was Spa, where Lewis Marshall took home his second pole position of the year. And it was also the second time he had gotten pole in a wet race. Lewis Marshall had gotten the pole back at Coda in the Circuit of the Americas in round 2. That was a wet race, and he picked up pole position in a wet Spa-Francorchamps. And it looks like we do have a few more drivers this time that have joined. So just to run down it, we've got Brandon Glover, Tyler Thomas, Adrian Storm, Jay Fletcher, Lee Kelly, Jay Drawbridge, Felix Negwer, Samuel Nazar, Alexander Bastos, Ken Vilhoen, Dave Meagum, Sondre Sorhaug, and Tyler Rhodes. So it looks like we've added a couple more drivers. Round 16 was Baku, Azerbaijan, which had happened earlier today in the real F1. Jack Hoyle came home with his fourth pole position, his 6th win, while Ville Himalayan came home 2nd. Sondre Sorhaug, at his best run of the year, comes home 3rd that race. It was Sondre's first podium in more than 400 days. If you can calculate that, that's basically back to season 3 was the last time Sondre had picked up a podium position. Felix Negwer came home 4th. Jay Drawbridge crashed out. That was actually his 5th DNF of the year, round 16. So it looks like we've got the grid set. We're now up to 13 cars, and Jay Drawbridge is on your pole. So he picks up his first pole since round 12 at Sochi. He'll be followed by Jay Fletcher. So there'll be the Jay and Jay show, and it wouldn't be the first time that we've seen it. Jay Fletcher's going to be sandwiched in between the two McLarens as Tyler Rhodes managed to get 3rd in qualifying. He'll be looking to try and stay in that podium position. Lee Kelly will be 4th. Ken Vilhoen had a good qualifying effort, comes home 5th, and be looking to try and make his way through the field a little bit to see if he can get to the podium position. Brandon Glover, last week's winner, is going to be looking to do it again here to close out this season. On a strong note, Dave Meagum in the Renault, he'll be starting 7th, and Felix Negwer is going to be battling for 2nd spot in the championship points. His qualifying did not go the way he wanted to see him starting 8th. He'll be looking to try and make his way through the field, get some points on the board, and hopefully capitalize on possible misfortune on Jay Drawbridge's part. Samuel Nazar is going to be starting 9th in the Mercedes. And Alexander Bastos, 5 7th place finishes this year. He's got 1 4th place finish to his credit. See if he can come home with some more points today. Sondre Sorhaug had 1 podium this year. A disappointing qualifying effort, and he'll be looking to try and put his way through the field. And Tyler Thomas is going to be participating in his last IRL race, unfortunately for him. Other obligations going into the military is going to keep him out of league racing for at least next year. And Adrian Storm, who's been very impressive so far this year since coming up from F2, will be starting at the back of the field, along with Tyler Thomas, since those two were not able to make the qualifying session. We'll see what they can do as we get ready to go lights out for the last time of the season. 5 red lights. Lights go out. Little bit of a delay. Time to run with LeBrun. Everybody's off in a puff of smoke. Jay Drawbridge with a good start. Here comes Tyler Rhodes. He can't get to the inside. And one of the Williams, that's Ken Vilhoen, goes wide in the back. Lee Kelly is up to 4th, and we've got the Williams is spinning. He manages to save it. That was Ken Vilhoen. And it's a 3-car breakaway at the front. Drawbridge, Fletcher, Rhodes. Rhodes looks to the inside. It's not close enough to make a move. We've got one of that Brandon Glover to the inside of Lee Kelly, picking up the 4th spot. And a 5-second stop-and-go penalty for Felix Negwer for corner cutting. Gained a place. That is super unfortunate for him. He gives the spot back. That was over Samuel Nazar and Ken Vilhoen. Jay Drawbridge starting to gap 2nd and 3rd here. Tyler Rhodes and Jay Fletcher. You see 4th, 5th, and 6th come through there. The qualifying times were super close. Everybody was running 107s with the exception of Jay Drawbridge, who ran a 106, and Alexander Bastos, who went 108. Everybody else was at 107 range. Everybody was split 2nd to 8th by half a second. And you can see that materializing here as we pick up Dave Meagum. He's right behind Brandon Glover. Meagum to the inside, down into turn 1. Outbreaks himself a little bit, gives up a little bit of time, and then you see 2 cars side by side there. Looks like that was Felix Negwer and Ken Vilhoen. Owen Vilhoom with a switchback, and he's side by side. Oh, and a big move by Felix Negwer. Negwer took the inside line away. That was some very tight racing there, coming all down the back straightaway. Meanwhile, back towards the front, we've got Tyler Rhodes is all over the gearbox of Jay Fletcher. Jay Drawbridge starting to gap these two, almost out to a second advantage. Rhodes going to try and get a good run. Coming out of the last corner there and up to the top of the hill, we've got Marcel Holler joining us here on the live chat. Drawbridge goes 1:10, sets the fastest lap. Rhodes to the inside. Not close enough to make a move. DRS has been enabled, and Tyler Rhodes is going to have that advantage coming down this back straightaway here. See the slot open. Fletcher drops the right side tires into the grass. Rhodes to the inside. Brakes late, makes the move. And Fletcher runs wide coming out of that corner. Meanwhile, Brandon Glover side by side. This is Dave Meagham, the battle for fourth. And there you have fourth, fifth, and sixth. It's a three-car battle. You've got Dave Meagham, Brandon Glover, and Lee Kelly. Meanwhile, out front, we've got a McLaren 1-2 as Jay Drawbridge is now pulled out to a 1.6-second gap over his teammate. Tyler Rhodes, as he made that move on Jay Fletcher. We're going to try and stay in the slipstream of Dave Meagham's Renault. See if he can make a move down into turn one. Meagham's going to take away the inside line. Glover's going to go further inside, down to the wall. Almost outbreaks himself, manages to make the move, but now they're side by side. Meagham is now going to come through, and Dave Meagham might have the DRS advantage on Glover. And look at these three, fourth, fifth, and sixth. You can throw a blanket over him. Glover all the way to the inside, tries to take away the inside line. He's holding it together. Meagham trying to do a crossover, and here comes Lee Kelly now. Glover gets a good run, nice and tight to the top of the right-hander. Oh, and almost to the inside. I thought Meagham was going to try and dive bomb. He thought better of it. 3-second time penalty for Han Vilhoen. And it looks like Lee Kelly had just gotten around Dave Meagham. And now Lee Kelly's going to try and close the gap to Brandon Glover. Oh, and look at this, to the inside, the Toro Rosso. Lee Kelly gets to the inside of Mercedes, and Glover loses the back end, and now Meagham is there to try and pounce on him. Meanwhile, while these three cars have been battling it out, Samuel Nazar, you see there in the background, he's just starting to come into the picture. It could be a four-way battle here for the fourth spot here. Oh, look at this, Lee Kelly to the inside once again. Glover's going to have the more preferred line as they head up to the top of the hill, the right-hander. And Lee Kelly's not able to make it stick. Meagham deep on the brakes there. And a fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. And now Samuel Nazar is going to have the DRS advantage. As you see, Felix picks up a 3-second time penalty. That's going to be added to his 5-second stop and go. Tyler Thomas gets a 3-second time penalty as these guys head down the front stretch. But meanwhile, Jay Fletcher's on the outside of Tyler Rhodes as they go side by side. Crossover move by Rhodes. Rhodes is going to have the DRS advantage as they come down the backstretch. Dave Meagham picks up a 3-second time penalty. And Tyler Rhodes makes the move back on Jay Fletcher to take second position back. Meanwhile, Lee Kelly still trying to find a way around Brandon Glover to get that 4th spot back. Sondre Sorhaug, 3-second time penalty, and Adrian Storm has retired from the session. Not sure if he's had it off or if he just called it a day. Once again, the battle for second rages on. This is going to be Jay Fletcher. He finds a way around the outside of Tyler Rhodes. Rhodes is going to be able to have the slipstream as they head up towards turn 1. And why are we looking at the back of the car when all the action is in the front? Drop on board with Tyler Rhodes. Block up on the left front as he goes in deep on the brakes. Little twitchy coming through the 1-2 section. And again, we're looking at the back of the car for no reason. Thanks, F1 2018. Looks like we've got a car off. That is Adrian Storm. Oh no, look at this! Jay Fletcher! Where did he go? Jay Fletcher had it off. He went into the wall, lost the front wing. That is going to cost him dearly. Looks like he got caught on the curb. Felix Negwer looking to get around him now. So that puts Brandon Glover into 3rd spot, and now we've got a 3-way car battle for the last spot on the podium. Third, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Caution sector 1 and 2, and Jay Fletcher has retired from the session. It looks like he had probably pulled off there, and he's going to call it a day. Meanwhile, we've got this battle raging on. It looks like Megan's had a problem. I'm having some controller issues here for some reason. So Megan loses a couple spots. Glover's able to pull a little bit of a gap, but you've got Lee Kelly with Samuel Nazar all over the back of him now. Alexander Bastos is getting around Tyler Thomas for the 10th spot. You can hear how easy Lee Kelly's trying to be on the throttle there in some of these very tight corners. Action has seemed to settle down for just a moment. Half a second gap now. This is your closest battle on track. This is Samuel Nazar on Lee Kelly. Dave Migden's going to head to the pits. He'll be the first one to make a pit stop. Lap 9 of 36. And 3-second time penalty for Cam Vilhoon. That's the second one that he's picked up that I've seen. And these two are starting to reel in Brandon Glover. You see Glover there just leaving the shot. Here comes Lee Kelly and Samuel Nazar. So we're about to have a 3-way battle again. Starting to hit that pit window though, so pit stops could play a factor in all this. And Jay Fletcher has officially left the session. And they can run to the top of the hill. Jay Drawbridge has started lap 10. These guys are coming around and starting down. Looks like nobody's going to take the bait for the pits. Oh, look at this. Nazar to the inside. They go side by side late and deep into the brakes. Kelly still holds the line. Manages to make it, save it. Nazar again is going to make a run at him with the DRS all the way to the inside. Lee Kelly taking away the inside line. He's going to make Nazar go the long way around. It's a very hard left-hander for somebody to make. They both run wide. That's where Jay Fletcher went off a few laps ago. Nazar loses some ground to the top of the hill. Kelly manages to gap Nazar just a little bit. Nazar looks like he's the fastest driver right now, but Lee Kelly making that car very wide, very hard to get around. And Brandon Glover's just out of touch. Glover was able to gap them a little bit. There was a 1.6 gap last time around. It's now up to 2 seconds. Meanwhile, Nazar's still going to have the DRS advantage as they head down the front stretch. Caution in sector 3. You see Kelly goes all the way to the wall. And look at this. Once again, Nazar to the inside. Very late on the brakes. Tries to get up next to him. And Nazar's going to have the DRS advantage again on this backstretch. Lee Kelly's going to probably go all the way to the inside wall. Nope, doesn't look like Nazar's close enough to make a move. He does close that gap. Meanwhile, Glover is losing time to these two. 1.5 seconds. As you see, they come to the top of the hill during that right-hander. Meanwhile, Jay Drawbridge has pulled out a 7.5 plus second gap over his teammate, Tyler Rhodes. And while Lee Kelly and Samuel Nazar have been catching Brandon Glover, Glover is also catching Tyler Rhodes for the second spot. So we could have a battle for second start to materialize. Samuel Nazar picks up a 3-second time penalty. Dave Meeknam and Tyler Thomas are battling it out for the 10th spot. Thomas loses out on that battle. Meeknam's with the fresher tires. Lee Kelly takes over the inside line. Nazar's going to try and go the long way around into turn 1. See if he can get a good run coming out of the turn 2 complex. Around the sweeping left-hander, turn 3, and then down the long straightaway here. And look at Kelly all the way to the inside. Once again, he's going to make Nazar go a long way around. Nazar's going to stay down and towards the grass. Good racing by Lee Kelly. I think Nazar was banking on Kelly to sweep wide right and then take the apex. But Kelly held the line, didn't give Nazar the chance to make the move, and now Brandon Glover's closing that gap. He's under a second now to Tyler Rhodes. So we'll keep an eye on that as you see those two battling it out. Alexander Bastos making a move on Dave Meeknam to pick up the 9th spot. Glover's going to have the DRS advantage as they head towards the top of the hill. Good run out of that last corner there by Samuel Nazar. Nazar making a run on Kelly. Tyler Rhodes heads into the pits. He's going to hand over second spot to Brandon Glover. And now look at this. Side by side as they head down into turn 1. Around the outside. Good move by Samuel Nazar to take away what is now the 3rd spot. Felix Negwer is going up into 5th now. And now Lee Kelly is going to have the DRS advantage as they head down the backstretch. Into the right-hander, we've got softs versus super softs. Working lap 13 of 36 of what has been a very entertaining race so far. Kelly being very smooth on that throttle, saving those tires. Second pits in the second half, they'll have the DRS advantage. Looks like Glover may be heading into the pits this time around. I'm sorry, Nazar. Nope, Nazar doesn't head to the pits. Lee Kelly does. Looks like his tires have given up. So that is going to move Felix Negwer and Brandon Glover up a spot. So Negwer into 3rd. Glover actually entered the pits. Oh, look at it. Glover having a hard time getting the power back down. Oh my, Lee Kelly almost did the same thing. Both cars almost going around in pit lane. Dave Meeknam, he's going to come out behind Brandon Glover. In between him and Lee Kelly, you see Tyler Thomas back there making a move to try and get around Alexander Bastos. Oh no, and Tyler Thomas loses the car, smashes the left side against the wall, and you heard the big thud there. while Tyler Rhodes is on the fresher tires. He's going after Sondre Sorhaug, who Sondre's managed to work his way into fourth. Due to pit strategy, looks like Sondre's out on the medium tire, so he'll be running a very long first stint. Finally, Jay Drawbridge heads into the pits to give up first spot. And it looks like Sondre is... No! Thought Sondre was heading into the pits there for a minute. Just taking the very, very inside line. He's going to try and out-brake Tyler Rhodes, but Rhodes is on the fresher tires in the grippier tire. I don't think that's going to work out for Sondre as he gives up a spot. Got a lot of action going on back here. This is Dave Meekdom on Brandon Glover. Meekdom to the inside. He's got the DRS advantage. Glover able to hold that position. They bang wheels, and look at this. Meekdom lost it. Oh no, he gets clipped by Lee Kelly. Lee Kelly, oh, and he's into the wall. Broken left front suspension. Lee Kelly was having such a good race. And Meekdom's got wing damage. He's going to lose the spot to Tyler Thomas. That's going to move Canville Hoon and Felix Negwer. Negwer just coming out of the pits now. Negwer's on the mediums. He'll be looking to make theirs last all the way to the end of the race. Lee Kelly, unfortunate turn of events for him as Dave Meekdom made contact with Brandon Glover. Meekdom found himself into the wall and spun onto the track right in the path of Lee Kelly, who was having such a good run and a good battle. Too bad for him. The cars are all spread out now. Samuel Nazar is your leader, but he is yet to make a pit stop. Jay Drawbridge currently running second, but he is closing that gap. It's under 6 seconds right now. Tyler Rhodes, this is your closest battle on the track. He's got Sondre Sorhaug about a second behind him. So we started with 13 drivers. We've got 10 left. Adrian Storm was the first one to leave. Not sure if he crashed out or just decided it wasn't a good race because of disqualifying. Just the setup. Dave Fletcher, he left as well, and then we just saw what happened to Lee Kelly. Too bad for him. Not how he wanted to end this season. He had a really good season in F2 this year. Had some really good runs in F2. Had a couple of good runs in F1, and he's had a really rough year personally with some personal matters, so really not how he wanted to end his season. He definitely wanted to end it on a high note, but we certainly hope to see Lee Kelly back next year in F2 or possibly even F1. He was a damn good driver as we see Samuel Nazar headed to the pits. So that's going to hand the lead back over to Jay Drawbridge and move Sondre up to the third spot. So we certainly wish Lee Kelly the best. Again, as I said, we hope to see him back again next year. And Sondre has got the right side tires into the grass. 5-second stop and go penalty for Tyler Thomas, who's speeding into the pit lane. Tyler, as we talked earlier, this is his last F1 race, unfortunately, for IRL because of personal matters, joining the military, so he won't have the time next year or until further notice to race again. So we certainly wish Tyler the best of luck for the rest of this race. This is pitting from 9th. And we certainly wish him the best of luck in his next endeavor. So Jay Drawbridge, caution in Sector 3. Looks like that was Drawbridge. Had it off, maybe? He gave up a little bit, he gave up a huge chunk of time to his teammate Tyler Rhodes. It was 9 seconds. Looks like he might have had it off at that last corner. Tyler Rhodes now within 5.5 seconds. Sondre Sorhaug has managed to work his way into third. He's got Brandon Glover behind him. Samuel Nazar in 5th. Alexander Bastos in 6th. Canville Hoon currently in 7th. Felix Negwer's race is not turning out the way he wanted it to, as he's currently running 8th. Tyler Thomas in 9th, and Dave Meekdom's going to round out your last 10 cars and your top 10 points paying positions. We're going to go ahead and pick up Jay Drawbridge. And let's just hop on board with Jay Drawbridge for a lap. Take a look at a lap around Autodromo de Interlagos here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Let's take a ride. And that is what it's like to get around Interlagos in about 1 minute and 10 seconds with Jay Drawbridge. Real interesting gear select changes there through the Sector 2 portion of this track. Very smooth on the throttle. And while that was all taking place, we've got Brandon Glover now side by side with Sondre Sorhaug, both on medium tires. It's a three-way battle because here comes Samuel Nazar. Now, even though they're all on the mediums, Sondre's been out on those mediums since the start of this race. And Nazar going to make a move on his teammates. Not this time. Doesn't look like Sondre's necessarily done with the battle. He's all over the gearbox of Samuel Nazar's Mercedes now. Sondre's going to struggle with grip here a little bit, especially through the Sector 2 here. Very tight, windy, left, right, left, right. Ooh, and you see the back end just kick out a little bit. Samuel Nazar, though, he's going to have the DRS advantage over his teammate Brandon Glover. He's all over the gearbox. He's definitely close enough to make a move. Glover's going to try and make him go on the outside. Side by side, it's a drag race down into turn 1. Who's going to outbrake who? Oh, Glover, they're side by side. Glover's not going to be able to make it stick to the inside. He's going to try a crossover move. Who's got the DRS advantage? Because now it's a drag race down the backstretch, and it looks like Glover might have played his cards right and got that DRS advantage. So he'll hold off Samuel Nazar. This is the battle for third. Oh, and look at this. Nazar all the way to the inside. He's going to take the inside line going up the hill. And when he picks up a 3-second time penalty for that. And Felix Negwer picks up another 3-second time penalty. It's Samuel Nazar's second 3-second time penalty that I have been able to keep track of. And that's also the second one for Felix Negwer, I believe. Cam Vilhoon's got 2 to his credit. Dave Meagham's got 1. Tyler Thomas has 1. I believe Tyler Thomas has 2. No, he had 1, and then the 5-second stopping goes. He was heading for the 5th. That's what that was. Side by side again. Here we go. Turns 1-2 complex. Glover able to hold him off, but now Nazar's going to have that DRS advantage. He's very close, down towards the inside line. Nazar's going to try and outbrake him. Ooh, you got to be very careful coming out of that corner. All 4 wheels can go off. You can lose grip on the outside tire. Look at this. Glover holds the line. Unbelievable running here by these 2 Mercedes drivers. Great driving by Brandon Glover to hold that line and keep the position from Samuel Nazar. Oh, and Nazar's right there. He tries to get the power down. Back end kicks out of him just a little bit. Nose to tail as they head down. Oh, look at this. He's going to make a move there. Oh, no. And Nazar makes contact with Glover. Glover into the wall, and he is retired from the session. Unbelievable turn of events for Brandon Glover as he sits on the front stretch. Samuel Nazar, those two are racing very hard. Nazar wanted that inside line. He wanted to get to the inside of that Mercedes, and he takes out his teammate. So, unfortunately, Brandon Glover, who had come off of a high of last week, winning for the first time in more than 492 days, he won round 20 of Suzuka. He's going to come home with a DNF this race as Dave Meaghan picks up a 3-second time penalty. That is going to reset the running order a little bit here as we've got Jay Drawbridge now. He is 10.5 seconds clear of his teammate. So whatever problem Jay Drawbridge had a few laps ago where he lost a big chunk of time, looks like he had it off at that last corner. Tyler Rhodes has not been able to capitalize, so Rhodes will be running second. Samuel Nazar, we just saw the controversial incident there between him and his teammate Brandon Glover. That was a battle for third. Canville Hoon is running fourth. He's got a caution in sector 3. Not sure who that might be. Felix Negwer has managed to work his way into fifth. Sondre Sorhaug currently running sixth, and he has finally pitted and switched over to soft tires. He should be running those to the end of the race. Alexander Bastos finds himself in a very familiar position, running in seventh. Dave Meaghan is currently running in eighth, and Tyler Thomas rounds out your 9 remaining drivers. So unfortunately, no close battles left on track, but we can recap the rest of this season. I believe we left off at Baku, where Jack Hoyle picked up his 4th pole position of the year, took home his 6th win. Ville Hemmelay came home second. Sondre Sorhaug, we did talk about this. That was Sondre's first and only podium of the year so far. That was his first podium in more than 400 days. So that's going back to season 3 as well. Felix came home in 4th. That was Felix Negwar's best finish since round 13. Moving ahead to round 17 in Australia, that was a massive race of attrition. If you're going to watch one race on the IRL YouTube channel this year, you should definitely make it round 17 in Australia. We started with a full grid, 20 drivers. Only 8 finished the race. Jack Hoyle picked up his 5th pole position of the year, but Ville Hemmelay came home with his 2nd win. Jay Fletcher picks up his first podium, and this was Tyler Rhodes' first podium of the year as well. Guys that had crashed out of that race, Jack Hoyle, Dave Meaghan, Sondre Sorhaug didn't crash out, but he came home 12th because he was a lap down. Jay Drawbridge, another heavy hitter, gone. James Hallworth crashed out. Lee Kelly crashed out. Saba Siktu, Joshua Dangle, Jorge Correa, David Wallbank, Alexander Bastos, Louis Kuhlman all crashed out of that race. 9 through 20th were nothing but DNFs, with the exception of Sondre Sorhaug, who came from 11th, a lap down. Round 18 is where Jack Hoyle was able to lock up the championship for this year. After Jay Drawbridge had 6 DNFs previously throughout the course of the season, Jack Hoyle took his 6th pole position, his 7th win. Negwer came home 2nd. Ville Hemmelay came home 3rd. And again, that was another race of attrition. We started with 17 cars that round. Only 8 of them finished. And even though that was Felix Negwar's 5th podium finish of the year, that was actually round 18. That was his first podium in 10 races. He hadn't had a podium up to that point since round 8. Jorge Correa had 5 DNFs in a row at the end of that race. We've got 10 laps to go in the course of this race. Round 19 was Germany at Hockenheim. Jack Hoyle picked up another pole position and another win. Samuel Nazar picked up his first podium position of the year. He'll be looking to do that again here today. Jay Drawbridge picked up his 9th podium of the year. Lewis Bish had made a one-off return for that race. You see Tyler Thomas pick up another 3-second time penalty. Lewis Bish, who had raced with us last year, came back to race this one round. Unfortunately, he crashed out. Jay Fletcher picked up his 2nd DNF in a row for that race. But Felix Negwer was driver of the day. He went from 16th on the grid to finishing 5th, so an unbelievable run for him. And then round 20 at Suzuka, big time win for Brandon Glover. His first win in over 492 days. Tyler Rhodes comes home second. Jack Hoyle was third. Felix Negwer with a fourth place finish. So that was last round that Felix had closed the gap to Jay Drawbridge for second in the point standings, but it looks like Jay Drawbridge is going to walk away with that today. Second in the points, no problem. We're going to pick up a battle that's starting to materialize here. This is Sondre Sorhaug and Felix Negwer, a couple of guys that have been in the league for a number of years now. A couple of veterans are going to be battling it out for the fifth spot. Negwer's race is not going the way that he wanted it to after starting deep in the field. Poor qualifying effort. He hasn't been able to really capitalize. His best luck has been the fact that Lee Kelly and Brandon Glover and Jay Fletcher, all three drivers that were faster than Negwer, have all crashed out, which has basically moved him from 8th, 9th on the grid to 5th. But Sondre Sorhaug's looking a little racy here, closing stages of this race. Now Sondre Sorhaug is going to have that DRS advantage as he gets a good run out of that last corner, up the hill, down the curvy front stretch. Slot is open. Is he going to be close enough to make a move? He's thinking about it as he pulls out a line. He's going to go side by side. Felix Negwer, they're wheel to wheel. They don't touch each other. Great racing. Negwer's able to hold the position. Sondre's going to come back around the outside here. Try and get a good run out of the corner. He's going to have DRS advantage again. Negwer all the way to the inside to take away that inside line. Sweeps back across and try and make the apex. Good move and good racing by Negwer. Sondre couldn't make it work, and I'm sure Sondre anticipated that move a little bit by Negwer. Two class acts racing each other. Nose to tail at the top of the hill through the right-handers. Nose to tail here through sector 2. Negwer just needs to try and hold his line. Sorhaug just needs to be patient and find the spot to make his move. He's going to be nose to tail with him again. He's going to have that DRS advantage. To the inside. Look at this. Sondre pulls out a line down side by side with him again. And once again, Negwer is going to be able to hold the line. Very good racing from both drivers. Sondre is almost a mirror of last lap there. And once again, Sondre's going to have the DRS advantage. Negwer to the inside, but Sondre's not going to be close enough to make a move this time down. Oh, he's very close with him, all over the back of the gearbox. I didn't think he was that close coming towards the end of the straightaway. Sondre to the top of the hill. Looks like Felix was able to gap him just a little bit. And hop on board with Sondre. Sondre, you can hear him trying to get that power down. As Lewis Marshall has talked about with us in the last few races, Sondre really working hard to try and become a better driver. That was in the assist, but he runs a little wide coming out of there. That was very close. He gave up a huge chunk of time. So that cost him. He ran very wide there. He almost had it off. He had to put the power down a little harder than that. He definitely would have had it off there. And Sondre picks up a 3-second time penalty, so that's all for naught. Trying to close that gap. 6 laps to go here for Jay Drawbridge, who's walking away with a very commanding 15-second lead. Samuel Nazar's 2 seconds back from Tyler Rhodes. And you may have that battle starting to materialize for the second spot. It's now under 2 seconds. And you own a big lockup. Did you see all the smoke pouring out of the front of Tyler Rhodes' car? Big lockup as he head down into turn 1. Samuel Nazar is now 1.5 seconds back from Tyler Rhodes, so that gap is dropping quick. If Nazar keeps up this pace, he'll have the DRS advantage for sure the next time around. Look at the Samuel Nazar 1.1, 1.3. Looks like Rhodes, he's having some front end grip issues. It looks like he locks up the tires again. Look at this Nazar, almost within a second. You see puffs of smoke coming out of the front tires. Nazar's not going to have the DRS advantage this time. We're going to take a look out the back of Tyler Rhodes' McLaren. Oh, and you can hear the tires just squealing as it goes into the brakes there. Big lockup on the left front. Nazar now is going to have the DRS advantage when he's too far back to make a move. He'll be able to close the gap a little bit. So Tyler Rhodes struggling on those soft tires. 19 laps on what is, well, essentially they're medium tires. You know, he has the yellow band on, but I guess that's that quality F1 2018 glitch. So 19 laps on the medium tires for Tyler Rhodes, while Samuel Nazar's tires are 4 laps fresher, so we got 15 laps on them. Tyler Rhodes can get out of that last corner there up at the top of the hill. Just within half a second, the DRS slot's going to be open. You hear the little audible beep there. Tries to pull out of line. I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move here. Rhodes struggling mightily now with that left front, starting to lock up almost every time around. Nazar's not going to be close enough to make a move here either. So Rhodes should be good to hang on in that position through the second sector. Oh, but he outbrakes himself a little bit there. Looks like he's starting to get a little bit of a push with those tires. He's turning in, but the car doesn't want to turn. He's starting to push wide. Nazar, once again, within striking distance. Sondre Sorhaug's heading into the pit now. Sondre's going to do what he's done best all season. He's going to switch over to a fresh set of tires to set the fastest lap. He's done that a number of times this year. To the inside! Big move by Samuel Nazar. Oh, but he can't make it stick. Tyler Rhodes trying to come back onto the outside, but Rhodes is running wide. Rhodes is going to have the DRS advantage. Nazar takes away the inside line. Side by side, they touch as they're going to head up the hill. Rhodes is going to take the position back. Nazar trying to find his way back around Tyler Rhodes' McLaren. Rhodes struggling with front end grip. Nazar's got the fresher tires. He is the faster driver. To the inside. Nazar looking to make a move. Once again. You can see him adjusting the fuel mixture. A little bit of snap oversteer. He's getting a good run. DRS slot open. Side by side, Rhodes is going to be on the inside. Nazar's able to get around to the outside, make it work. Can Rhodes now make a run at him down the backstretch? And a 3-second time penalty for Felix Negwer, but we're not worried about that right now. We're worried about this battle for second spot. 2 laps to go. Nazar to the inside is going to make Tyler Rhodes go around the outside. They're side by side heading into the left-hander. Rhodes can't make it work. And it looks like we're getting a little bit of rain showing up here just at the end of this race. I don't think that's going to be much of a factor here. Too late in the day. Too late in the race, only a couple laps to go. I don't think it'll make the track slick enough for it to be an issue. And Sondre Sorhaug just ran the fastest lap, 109.501, fresh tires. Even though the rain's coming down, it doesn't seem to make a difference for Sondre. And he was able to pit and come back out in 8th spot. So Tyler Rhodes, he's going to have the DRS advantage. He's not going to be close enough to make a move. But he is there. Last lap. This is going to be Rhodes' best advantage to try and make a move here and get that DRS slot open. You can see him closing up, but I don't think he's going to be close enough as they head into the braking zone here. Rain coming down. Jay Drawbridge picks up a 3-second time penalty. Rhodes goes in deep with the brakes. Not sure if the weather's playing a factor. It just started raining a couple laps ago. Don't think the track's wet enough, and you see them starting to struggle with a little bit of grip as he tries to get the power down. He's lost a good chunk of time, about half a second now to Samuel Nazar. Nazar's able to pull out that gap. Caution in sector 3. Jay Drawbridge has come across the line. He is your winner. So we pick up a Samuel Nazar. Tyler Thomas is going to get a 5-second time penalty for an unserved stop and go. So Samuel Nazar is going to come across the line second and third, but due to time penalties, Tyler Rhodes manages to get that second spot. So good for him. Canville, who we didn't really talk about a whole lot today, but he has managed to keep his nose clean, and he's going to come home with a really hard, good run to 4th. Felix Negwer is going to come across the line to 5th. And Alexander Bastos, the DRS is now disabled. Not that it really matters, it's the end of this race, but Alexander Bastos is going to come home 6th. Tyler Thomas has officially been classified as 9th. Dave Bigman coming across the line now for 7th. And Sondre Sorhaug, who's taking his sweet time as the rain is really coming down now. And Sondre will come across the line to finish this race in 8th. But I think before he does that, Sondre wants to do a little bit of celebratory donuts for a season well into the books now. Congratulations to everybody in IRL. That was a bad idea by Sondre Sorhaug. He does finally come across the line. I don't think he knew traffic was coming. Celebratory donuts for Sondre Sorhaug on a very well entertaining season. This has been season 5 of IRL. You see Jay Drawbridge coming home with another win. That's Jay Drawbridge's 4th win of the season. Tyler Rhodes with his 3rd podium finish in the last 5 races. And Samuel Nazar will come home 3rd. So here is your finishing order after all the penalties and everything. But it says Jay Drawbridge, Tyler Rhodes, Samuel Nazar, Ken Vilhoon with a great run to 4th. Felix Negwer 5th, Alexander Bastos is 6th, Dave Megan is 7th, Sondre Sorhaug is 8th, Tyler Thomas is 9th, Brandon Glover comes home 10th, Lee Kelly is 11th, Jay Fletcher 12th, and Adrian Storm is 13th. Rounds out your 13 drivers that participated in today's race. This has been round 21 of the F1 2018 on PS4, Season 5 of IRL. This is the conclusion of what has been an amazing, amazing year. A lot of firsts for IRL this year, and a lot of firsts for some drivers. It's the first time in IRL history that we actually had a championship crowned before the final race of the year. So congratulations to Jack Hoyle, even though he didn't participate in this race. Congratulations to Jack Hoyle on his IRL championship. Felix Negwer, last year's champion. Unfortunately, he's going to come home 3rd in the championship point standings this year. Congratulations to Jay Drawbridge being able to come home 2nd. It was also the first year for IRL to run an F2 league, since they had so many drivers sign up to wanting to be a part of this league, which is in the last couple of years has really blown up. So good for them on that. We also saw Jeremy Pope earlier in the year be crowned the Group 3 champion in Gran Turismo, and we are also getting ready to kick off Group 4, the Summer League for Gran Turismo Sport here in June, so be sure to check that out. And it's been an amazing ride this year. On a little bit of a sombersome note, it looks like that this may be, for the time being, my last F1 race with IRL. Looks like they're changing the schedule around a little bit next year in order to compete with some of the other bigger leagues out there: PSGL, ILR, SLR. There's a number of other leagues out there, AOC. But IRL here, International Racing League, has blown up the last couple seasons, and it looks like they're going to change the schedule around a little bit. So I may not be able to participate as a commentator for F1 next year, but it looks like F2 I'll be able to do. So here's high hopes for that. But everybody here at IRL, Sondre, Jared Fosbury, Lewis Marshall, Cameron Weston Edwards especially, they've all done a lot of stuff for this league over the last couple seasons. It's really gone from something that was done for fun, which is really starting now to turn into something that's done as a serious league. And I certainly wish them the best of luck moving forward. There's no hard feelings on my end. I told Cameron when he gave me the news that they were changing the F1 schedule that to absolutely do what is best for the league. And I will always be a part of IRL in some capacity. I'll be racing in the Group 4 league over the summer. I'm an administrator for IRL when it comes to the Group 4, and obviously I'll still be commentating for F2, hopefully, if things work out for next year. But a big thank you to all of those guys for letting me do this for them for the last couple seasons, and I hope that we can work something out in the future to where I'll be able to do maybe a handful of F1 races next year, depending on what the schedule looks like. But big time season for these guys. Season 5 has been their best season so far, and this league has definitely made leaps and bounds over what it was a couple of years ago. And when you compare it to some of the other leagues out there, I've commentated for SRL, I've commentated for Ministry of Speed, and I've raced in SLR and SRL to a certain degree. I'm still waiting to do that, but what these guys have done over the course of the last couple of years has been nothing short of miraculous. So I certainly wish them the best of luck moving forward. And definitely been a lot of fun doing this for everybody. So be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to the YouTube channel, IRL International Racing League. Be sure to check us out online for all news and notes, International Racing League-IRL.com. You can also check us out on Twitter. I want to say it's F1_IRL. Not 100% on that. I'm sure somebody will correct me, but you can also check out some of the Twitter feeds on the website as well. You can also like and subscribe and comment to my YouTube channel, KAMIKAZE-FOX, and be sure to check me out racing in the Summer League for Group 4 in Gran Turismo. That should be a very entertaining league. We're still looking for drivers, so if anybody wants to sign up for Group 4 Gran Turismo, we're going to be starting at the end of June, and the season will wrap up in August, so it's only going to be a Summer League before we get into F1 2019 with the F2 and F1, and before we get into the third season of Group 3 racing on Gran Turismo. So be sure to check that out. To everybody out there, it's been a great season. It's been a great ride, and we'll see you at the next round.